feet, with your heightened perception and strength giving you the edge you need to cut down your pursuers with your final, precious bullets.
Fucking kill!
The heavy doses of stimulants will leave you addled, but at least you can survive to fight and search for traces of your family another day. It's wonderfully tense moments like this that make Fallout 4 such an engaging and intoxicating experience. When Fallout 4 shows its wrinkles, it feels like a direct extension of Fallout 3 rather than a sequel years in the making. In so many ways, it shows a lack of progress. However, the more time you spend with the game, the less you care. When you're enraptured with characters, struggling with difficult decisions, and engaged in combat, you no longer care that something could look better or be more organized. You may examine the game closely and recognize flaws, but when you put the controller down, you think about the friend you betrayed, the shifting tide of an incredible battle, or the moment you opened a drawer and found someone's discarded effects, making you wonder how they felt before the bombs fell. Combat is comprised of melee attacks and gunplay, with a massive number of weapon variations to experiment with. You can hit a bloody home run with an enemy's head and a spiked bat, or wield a sniper rifle and pick off jerks from afar. Both methods work, opening up a vast range of combat scenarios to explore in the middle. You can even modify your weapons and other equipment by salvaging everyday objects scattered throughout Boston, allowing you to tweak your arsenal and extend its usefulness in significant ways. At any moment, you have the option to switch between third or first-person perspective on the fly, but more importantly, you can choose to fight in real time or within an RPG-rooted command system. You grow very familiar with VATS, the system you can use to plot every pull of the trigger. It's an extension of the same mechanic from Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, but activating VATS in those games paused the action completely. Now, it merely slows down time, and you're vulnerable when picking your target as a result. The advantage to using VATS versus fighting in real time is that it gives you the ability to aim for specific body parts and consider how likely you are to hit your mark, and how much damage you will inflict if you do. The mix of utility and strategy that it presents is encouraging, and it's a far more enjoyable and effective tool than real-time shooting, which is functional, but lacking the finesse found in dedicated shooting games. VATS also frames your actions with cinematic flair on occasion, showcasing the brutality of combat with style. While Boston seems beyond salvation, you can influence the lives of some locals by constructing sanctuaries for them to live in. Scrap junk that you find throughout the city, and you can erect shelters, establish small vegetable gardens, and fortify defense systems. There is a lot you can build, and the process is easy, but unless you love to be creative, you may not find this pursuit all that interesting. Beyond a few side quests, the game hardly motivates you to partake in construction. There's something to be said for the contrast between killing monsters and providing aid to those in need, but the rewards rarely extend beyond gratitude and some experience points. With a dense city to explore and greater rewards to reap, it's all too easy to ignore this feature altogether. From farmland to financial districts and throughout the depths of dangerous ghettos lie opportunities to profit, explore, and form relationships. Though you can choose to befriend, betray, or belittle people you interact with, the two-word summations don't always do a good job of forecasting the extent of your eventual dialogue. I was often surprised by my character's tone and choice of words. Fallout 4 is an involving RPG with a wealth of stories to explore and activities to engage in, but it's also an old-looking game. You immediately notice poor character models, muddy textures, and a bevy of glitches. Poor organization and accessibility makes managing your inventory and navigating the world map feel arduous. The companions that you can bring into battle are more trouble than they're worth. They often lose their way and are difficult to control when you need them to perform a certain task. In fact, you feel lucky when they appear next to you in battle, because you grow so accustomed to them getting stuck in a stairwell or between two rocks. With Boston at your mercy, you ultimately have the power to push it over the edge or rescue it from ruin. But this isn't a matter of good versus evil. You need to make